one thing about jiu-jitsu is like I remember being so active all the time. Like I'd be competing here, then I'd go to Florida the next weekend, compete, then I'd go to like Oregon or California or something, and I'd just be jumping all over the place competing. And like for me, like as a person, like I just love competing. So that's like for me, like September 24th, I'm like, hey, like don't bullshit me. Like if you're gonna fight, sign a contract because I want to fight, I want to compete, and I want to be active, you know? So it's like I was just getting a little frustrated on that, and like I wasn't gonna wait around for him to like just not show up, you know? I feel like he has got a big reputation of just not showing up, you know, and saying all these things. I mean, maybe, you know, like maybe he'll want to fight later, and if he does, I'll be like, all right, I'll do it on like a 3 weeks notice thing if I had nothing else going on. But I mean, I'm not planning like a full fight camp, spending money to come out and do what I need to do to prepare to beat this guy. I mean, it would be an easy fight for me, honestly. He doesn't really have like the fighting skills to be a fighter. He just kind of spams stuff. He doesn't really understand what's going on, so it'd be a pretty chill fight for me.
What is up, ladies and gents? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Raffus Bars, and coming to you live. Well, actually, this isn't live. I'm recording it live. Aha, take that. Coming to you with another installment of the Grappling Hour. I'm very excited again about today's show, but before we get to our excellent guest, some housekeeping. Number one, if you love us, and I hope you do, I hope that you come here week after week, enjoying the top tier talent that we bring for you and your listening attention. However, it would mean a lot to me if you guys would, I don't know, spend a few dollars, check us out, become a member of the Grappling Hour community, and see these interviews 30 days before everybody else. But Raph, how do I do that? Very simple. All you have to do is go over to HY.PAGE/Grappling Hour. And you can become a member. $5 a month, you guys can see interviews 30 days before anybody else. And if you pay a few dollars more, you can see segments like our guest slapping me in the face for no reason, which I thought kind of rude. But also, you know, I mean, I get it. He's a combat jiu-jitsu kind of champion, so that's fine. That's fine. I hold no regrets or resentment, and I have never made jokes about him for any other reason. Anyway, he's a very nice guest otherwise, though. Other little notes. You guys can join our Discord. You can become a member of the Grappling Hour family in that way. And you can also like, subscribe, and comment. All right, about our guest. Because I bet you're wondering now, if you haven't read the name, you're wondering, who would slap Raph? And honestly, he didn't hit me very hard. But it was enough where I was like, oh my God, I do not want to match with this guy. And it did take me into, I should probably try to heel hook this guy. A little hard to do. Found that out. Anyway, a longtime friend of the show. I mentioned combat jiu-jitsu prowess, but now he's knocking out people in the cage in a way that has me concerned, because he is combining things in a very good way. Not just the exciting wrestling that he brings to jiu-jitsu tournaments, not just the exciting grappling that he has provided on stages like ADCC, but now you can catch him more and more fighting, and he returns to the cage this September 24th. And there's been some stuff that we should catch up on. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, our friend, one, Kody Steele. Kody, how are you doing, sir?
Going good. Thanks for having me.
Well, it is good to see you here. And I should ask this, because there is the clip of you playfully slapping me. At what point did you decide you were going to do that to me? I know we talked about it in our video when we did it, but I need some context, because I don't want people thinking you created an assault on me or that you knocked me out in the way that you knocked out people in the cage. I just would like for you to explain the mentality behind it.
I think that like when we scheduled for you to come in, I think because we were in California at the time, I think, yeah, and William was there, so we were all when we had it scheduled. I was like, we're gonna have to roll with him. I was like, I'm gonna slap him. I'm gonna slap him up.
I have to say, I didn't think that was going to be something that was going to happen. Maybe in retrospect, I should have. but I was more so in the space of like, all right, I'm definitely grappling with two people who are better than me, and you think I'm going to get better. I didn't get better. I literally, that's one of the roles that I could say that I was training with higher talent, where I was like, oh, no, I might have gotten worse because I was definitely like, what's happening? Why are you? I thought we were friends, Kody. So I got a little bit of a taste of what it's like when you, the Tackett Bros, and your inner circle train with each other.
Yeah, be like that sometimes.
But you know what's funny is just the amount of laughing that I think we all got a big kick out of that one. Um, let's catch up on a few things. The first thing that caught my attention is this, sir. We'll get to your most recent fight that you had earlier in the year that we were supposed to talk about at a different time. But recently, there have been some posts where a certain other individual in the community has been bringing up your name. And it's one thing if they bring up your name. A lot of people say, I want a shot at you. A lot of people, that kind of trash talk comes with being a very recognizable talent. This one in particular, though, you signposted and said, if the contract goes through, I think the grappling community will really like me beating up this guy. So who is this guy and what is coming of any of this?
Yeah, so the guy was supposed to be Kevin Crane. And, I don't know. Every time I'm around the community, I see this guy getting lectured, getting talked to from the refs. I think there was like a video of Mo like yelling at him, telling him, if he does this shit again, like you're not gonna be able to compete. He's just a strange guy. A lot of the people I always, have encountered with don't enjoy him very much. So yeah, it kind of got brought up that way where we were gonna fight, and the problem was is like we were supposed to fight like kind of like a while ago, and he was like, let's do this, let's do this. I was like, all right, bro, whatever, like we'll fight, I don't care. Like, and then it came down to it, and then he wouldn't sign the contract. It was like a big kind of ordeal thing, and I was like, all right, whatever. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not doing this. And then I started kind of doing my thing, and then we started looking for a new fight for September. And then my manager's like, "Hey, I got someone for you. This is cool. It's Kevin Crane." And I was like, "Dude, no way. Like, he don't want it. Like, we already tried this before. Like, he doesn't want it." And then he's like, "No, no, no." He's like, he like went to like his manager contacts me, said like he wants to fight, blah blah blah. Like, and me and him got me and Kody got beef and stuff, and we need to fight and stuff. So I was like, what the fuck? I was like, all right, cool. I was like, let's do it then. And then it kind of got brought, and they sent me the contract. I was like, damn, okay. I was like, we're gonna fight, and I was like, so I signed the contract. I send it in, and I'm waiting, and I'm like, just kind of getting ready to do it because I feel like like jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu for sure, but like MMA, like when you have an opponent and you sign it, you're ready to go, you're locked in, it's time to do it. And like that's the person you think about for like however long, 6-7 weeks. You're just thinking about this dude, you're trying to study him as much as you can. So like for me, I'm like, man, like I signed the contract, I'm like, has he signed it yet? And they're like, no, not yet. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then the next couple of days goes by, nothing, nothing, nothing. So then I was like, bro, what the hell? So then I was just like, bro, I'm coming for your head. And then it just kind of started going out a little bit. And then, I think I scared him a little bit because after that, he wouldn't sign the contract.
Okay, so he's not signing the contract, and I don't know the particulars of this. I'm just getting your side of it because to the rest of us who are not either of you, there is an amusement, I guess, to say, on the back and forth, especially with certain language or certain phraseologies that I'm like, you know, I've had some people I've had beef with
Yeah.
or words with in my time. I don't know that I've ever put a beating on God. Uh, like that to me is just like, well, that's what he does. Okay. So to me, it looked like you were entertained by it. So it's not like it's even offensive. It's just like, all right, cool. Well, I'm willing to fight you. Let's fight. So to the rest of us, we're just kind of like, we're not sure what's happening. But do you mind describing some of the messages or the videos or the things that you were sent because I saw you encouraging your crew to be like, hey, tell him to sign the contract.
Yeah. I don't know. He was saying a lot of weird stuff, man. I mean, like he sent me like a voice message telling me how I'm gonna pay, telling how much bigger, faster, stronger he is, and how much more spiritually ahead of the game he is on me or something. He's more spiritually connected. So I was like, okay. And it was such a, it stuck out so much that people just ignored the fact that he was just gonna do things to my butt. Like he just totally, everyone just forgot about that and just said, wait, he said he's what? Spiritually connected? I was like, what the fuck? All right. Me and my friends, we were just at the house chilling on the couch and just laughing, just geeking and sending him some funny messages back, and he was just eating them up and just getting pissed. And we are just laughing back home.
I mean, I think it's just entertaining from the outside perspective if you're us, civilians, if you would, because I just knew that at any given point I could open my social media and go, what's happening now? And
Yeah.
have a certain kind of like, are you guys the same weight class? I don't even know how this goes. So then I just go, you know what? I'm not getting involved. We know him. We know you. If it happens, it's a fight. Cool. It takes care of itself. We've had a lot of people fight each other or have matches with each other. It settles itself usually. But it seems like we are putting, I guess, a pin on that. So you did end up getting a new fight for the 24th, though, correct?
Yeah, just because like for me, I want to fight. Like I don't care if I fight this dude or if I fight another person. I just want to fight on the 24th of September. Like one thing about jiu-jitsu is like I remember being so active all the time. Like I'd be competing here, then I'd go to Florida the next weekend compete, then I'd go to like Oregon or California or something, and I'd just be jumping all over the place competing. And like for me, like as a person, like I just love competing. So that's like for me, like September 24th, I'm like, hey, like don't bullshit me. Like if you're gonna fight, sign a contract because I want to fight, I want to compete, and I want to be active. So it's like I was just getting a little frustrated on that, and like I wasn't gonna wait around for him to like just not show up. I feel like he has got a big reputation of just not showing up. And saying all these things. I mean, maybe like maybe he'll want to fight later, and if he does, I'll be like, all right, I'll do it on like a 3 weeks notice thing if I had nothing else going on. But I mean, I'm not planning like a full fight camp, spending money to come out and do what I need to do to prepare to beat this guy. I mean, it would be an easy fight for me, honestly. He doesn't really have like the fighting skills to be a fighter. He just kind of spams stuff. He doesn't really understand what's going on, so it'd be a pretty chill fight for me. And I think everybody would love to see that guy get slapped.
I mean, listen, I still enjoy the fact that some of these indulgences were happening. And, people know that we know you, they know that we know him. So when people are sending it to me, like, do you see this? I was like, yeah, I saw it. And they go, what do you think? And I go, we know both of these guys. Like, what do you want me to say? And I go, and aren't you entertained by some of this? And they're like, yeah, but like, you're the word guy. What do you think of the words? And I go, I think it's kind of nonsense, but I'm also not a fighter. So it doesn't matter what I weigh in. They're either fighting or they're not. And right now, not. But, could happen maybe somewhere down the line. It's just, I do appreciate the professionalism of you saying, like, hey, man, can we just get paid and do this? Because it's
Yeah.
one thing to run up on somebody at a tournament, but you're at
Mhm.
a professional stage in your life where you're like, hey, man, I'm trying to fight people in a cage and get paid for it and keep going. And if that happens to be you, sounds good.
Yeah, and that's the problem because it's like now it's like he's a psycho. So it's like if I see him at a jiu-jitsu tournament, which I will, like I'll stay in my lane. But if he looks at me or like kind of like comes across from me, and if he says something retarded or something, like I'm gonna be like fuck, like I'm gonna have to like smack him or something. I'm gonna have to attack him. And it's like well shit, now we don't get paid for this. Like you're an idiot.
Yeah, the hard part for me is I think there's going to be a lot of me coming in and be like, no, 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 get paid. Gents,
Exactly.
to your corners, get paid. Because I tell people all the time, I'm like, don't give away your shit for free. Just
Yeah.
if you're getting it, everybody gets paid. If you don't and you do it in the middle of a tournament, it just causes problems. It's just like when you see people in combat jiu-jitsu who are like, oh, I wish I could. And I go to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the don't collar tie to death. You fucking can slap each other there. Like, don't give me a oh I wish if only. Just wait, kind of a thing. I'm like that shit is hilarious to me. So I do my best to just try to tell people like, there are rules. There are things that you guys can do. We can make things happen very quickly here. Should you guys want to do something like that?
I know, it sucks, but like I said, he was like his manager like reached out and was like, I don't know what the heck this guy's doing. Like I told him to sign the contract. We already agreed on the money, and then he started like asking for more money, and then he's like, well, I'm gonna go to Thailand, and I need you to buy my flight back, and I need this much money, and I need this, and it's like, dude, what the hell? Like let's just fucking go. Like what's all this? You know?
Yeah.
So we
Well,
move on.
we do move on, and I'm glad you have a new opponent because what I've been seeing on my side is you've been pretty consistent. You've been making trips on over to Vegas, and what's really funny to me is I know that I believe this evening, you're around some of our friends or people that we know in the community because where you're training right now, there are a lot of notable people there, including yourself, but like even just our friends, the Shat Bros running the jiu-jitsu program over there. Super dope to see like all these worlds colliding and then me being like on a given day on my stories being like, "Oh, I see this person and this person. Oh, that's cool. Everybody's fucking there. Oh, good for them." So, it's got to be really cool to have like a very nice talent pool to be able to sharpening your sword with out there.
Yeah, I mean, I love being out here. The best thing about being here at Syndicate is one, it's like vacation for me, you know? Like I'm out here, I don't gotta teach classes. I just focus on my diet, focus on training, and I'm just taking classes. Like I'm just listening, watching, and learning. And then the coaches here are like, they're awesome. They're always watching me. Like when I'm drilling, they're always watching me drill. They're always teaching me, always correcting me. But like to an extent where it's like, do this, and they kind of like fit it into my style. So I'm just always learning. And then being out here, because most of the times I feel like the big problem for me when I go travel places to go do MMA, a lot of times it's like, oh, I don't have like, I have the great MMA and I have the great striking, but I don't have like the jujitsu back at home. But like here, the brothers who are teaching the classes, like they're fucking awesome. I love taking their classes. I love learning from them. And then in the evening times, I go hit up Andy Varella's, and like I just get in some like scraps over there. So it's like I'm not missing out on much. I'm getting the best training I can get here, and you know, it's making a big difference.
Yeah, I love that the Shat Bros come in both like medium
Hmm.
and small size. So it's just
Hmm.
like, all right, you need somebody your size? Great. You need like a Tasmanian devil just running up on you? Yeah, he's good too. Like they're very, very awesome. So I'm very happy that you're doing that. And you and Varela just probably is like it's probably something that somebody should be recording at like the
Yeah.
highest frame rate possible just because even your flow rolls are probably highlight reels for somebody else.
Yeah, we're just scrapping in there. It's so much fun. It's crazy. Like I'll get rounds with him, and then his little like his boys and stuff. They're all like gunning for me too, and I'm just like, let's go. Like, come at me. It's like I'm getting every time I go there. It's like I'm getting Shark Tank, but I love it.
That's what's up. Yeah. And again, it's another, extension of the people who've been on the show or friends of the show. Vegas. We know a lot of those people. So whenever I see you there, I'm just like, damn, dude, this is really, really dope training. We do need to go back. Let's circle all the way back to earlier this year. Let's circle back to your last fight because originally we were trying to do an interview for that, but I would love to hear a little bit more about your last fight because it's dope that you got another finish. It's really cool to see you branching out and getting more and more experience. But I definitely wanted to give you props when we were trying to make that happen and say, like, hey, man, congratulations. So tell us a little bit about what that last fight experience was like for you.
The last fight was it was good, you know. Like I felt really strong. I felt really good. I felt like mentally stronger than ever. But I think, you know, the biggest thing for me is like I feel like I understand MMA now. Like I still am like learning and I'm still like sharpening everything when it comes to cage and ground and striking and mixing it. Like I'm still learning, but at least I feel like I have the idea of it. And that was like the biggest thing for me, especially when I first started. I was like, I'll be okay. Cause like I only did 2 amateur fights and then some kickboxing matches and some tournaments. And like everybody I was going against, I was just like I was like knocking everybody out. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna go knock this other dude out, you know, pro debut. And then the guy just was like, you know, he was crafty. He had like over like 20 some fights from my first fight and he was just weathering everything. And I was like, fuck, okay, like there's still so much to learn. I don't understand how to play this game. And it's like, so, you know, once I found that out, I started finding myself like getting a lot better. And I felt like, um, I had some good fights going into it, but then my one of my last fights before that, I fought Sam Kilmer, and he's just tough. Like nobody wants to fight this kid. Like I was like, fuck it, I'll fight him. Like let's do this. And he was so tough, you know. And like I felt like, I mean, he didn't throw a punch. I don't think the whole fight. He just was like trying to wrestle me and edge me out by a decision. And like it sucked because I was like, okay, like let me get this W, I get the win, but I didn't get to like show what I actually know and like stuff. And I'm like, and it's fine because I'm thankful for that fight because it made me so much better. But this fight leading up, you know, was like to me, I was like, this is gonna be my coming out party. Like I know this is gonna be it. Like I'm like, this guy wants it, and he's gonna try to stand and strike with me for a little bit, and if he does, like I'm gonna fucking run through him, you know. And so what happened, you know.
You know, I feel like every time we talk to you, you have appreciated an approach of something new. So, like, you know, first time we did an interview, it was, man, I'm really loving this combat jiu-jitsu thing, which was kind of like us looking at you like, well, we've only got you for so long. Like, we know you're probably going to start going to MMA, which I
Yeah.
get sad about because I want to try and keep as many jiu-jitsu people who I like in jiu-jitsu, but do what you need to do. And the nice part is while you're in jiu-jitsu, every time you have a match, you are pretty much guaranteed a very entertaining and high-paced match and occasionally a very solid suplex. But
Yeah.
then you start getting into this MMA thing and you just see this hunger like, man, I'm really liking it. I'm really appreciating it. And you're saying that again right now. So the natural question to ask on my part is, what about the process are you appreciating more? I know that you mentioned that there's a greatness about being a student, but you're not always a student. Sometimes you're a teacher, sometimes you're picking up new things, but when you're on these kind of vacations or these excursions, I know you're picking up new things. What has changed in your approach since, let's say, either day one in your jiu-jitsu journey or day one from when you were starting to do combat jiu-jitsu? Like, what has changed mentally for you?
Um, you know, I feel like every year I kind of like learn a little bit more, you know, about myself, whether it's like, you know, diet or lifting weights or cardio or a different way I like to train, jujitsu or whatever. But I'm starting to kind of like have my own recipe of how do I feel like I get good. And I feel like jujitsu was such a big thing for me because I did so many trial and errors from like overtraining to not eating the best food to like maybe overwork, you know, just overworking myself all the time or like maybe drilling not as much as I should. And then now I'm drilling more, I'm studying. And I just like, I feel like, you know, I made a lot of trial and error and I'm taking that recipe and I'm throwing it onto the MMA and I feel like I'm just kind of like growing a lot faster and learning so much, and it feels good to learn and uh, you know put everything together.
I'd love to know this because just because you're not necessarily competing in jiu-jitsu every week, you are observing things and you're also at a space where damn, you mentioned you're not getting to compete in MMA every weekend. So, is it hard to fight that itch to want to get back out there on the jiu-jitsu scene while still being disciplined and staying that MMA course, especially when you see other people coming in. And I guess follow-up question, are you seeing other people out there that you're kind of like, yeah, I want to match with them?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like that's been like the hardest thing for me, honestly, because it's like I feel like, I've done all this jujitsu, I've built my name, and I've done all this stuff for me to like get these opportunities to fight on these stages, to fight all these people, and like, do that. And it kind of like sucked because MMA is such a dangerous sport and it's so vicious that it's like you don't want to go halfway in, halfway out. And the same thing with jujitsu nowadays. Nowadays, jujitsu, like there's so many good people, like whether it's they're a purple belt, brown belt, whoever the new person's coming up, like everyone's so dangerous and everyone's so hungry. So it's like if I go halfway in, halfway out through MMA, I'm gonna get knocked out. If I go halfway in, halfway out of jujitsu, this kid who's trying to make a name off of me is going to sub me. And it's like when I go out and I perform, I want to perform 100% in MMA. And if I go out in jiu-jitsu, I want to go out there and perform 100% and show the best like product of me. So, it was really hard for me. I feel like it's been like it was like 3 years ago, I feel like now, where I was like, hey, I gotta I gotta stop. I gotta stop and just really start focusing on MMA. And it was hard because I was getting matches and offers with really cool people, and I had to turn them down because I was like, I can't. Because if I know for myself, like if I have a jujitsu match with somebody, all right, MMA gets put on the back burner. I'm not doing as much striking. I'm not doing much. I'm just doing more drilling of jujitsu, and I'm preparing for that jujitsu match. So it was really hard for me to like stop. But in my head, I was like, jujitsu will always be there, and I feel like the bigger name I get in MMA, it's just gonna be that much easier for me to get jujitsu matches anyways with these cool people. So, I think it'll all come around again.
I think the nice part is people forget, once we start getting around to that 80cc time, I'm sure your name is going to get come up. And for me, your trajectory on the 80cc stage is one that is like, oh shit, when's he up? Like anytime I see your name on brackets for that, it looked like last time some very convenient matches got put together in a bracket where I was just like, oh, so they're going against each other. All right, I want to see that one too. So it just worked in our favor for some reason. Who knows why? Be it fate, magic,
Yeah.
placements. But for me, I'm like, hey, listen, I'm not going to complain when I see you having these super dope matches all around. So kudos to you on that. And I want to tell you this: you mentioned something about danger, bro. I'm in Masters, should be 3 at this point. I literally went through a table this fucking weekend. So like these fucking old ass dudes have no fucking chill, and I'm like, hey man, um, you just broke a TV, I think. So now we don't know the score. And I want to make sure that didn't count as a takedown just because you put me through a table, you dick. So
Yeah.
yeah, I totally know and experience that myself.
Oh, yeah. No games out there in the Masters. No games.
I'll tell you this much though. The only thing that I think I took away from that was, and I'm sure you found this about yourself when in a much higher degree, but you don't know what you're going to react or how you're going to react until those moments happen. So I'm pretty sure it's like, yeah, great. You're going to get punched in the face. You know, that's going to happen. They can tell it
Yeah.
to you all you want. There's footage of me looking around and being like, okay, okay. And people being like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking fine. I'm not getting thrown through this for no reason. We're fucking seeing this through then. And then
Yeah.
one of my friends comes up to me and they're like, hey man, there was like a switch that happened with you. I was like, I went through a table. What other thing do you need to see? I'm very nice, but this dude can fuck off for the next 3 minutes. So
Yeah.
they just laughed, and I was like, yeah, nobody gets to see that except for when that happens.
Yeah.
Don't put me through a table again.
No.
Kody, I have to ask this because I'm never going to pay the money. Now, granted, I don't know if I want to know what's on it, but you have an OnlyFans. Now, what
Mm.
the fuck are you putting on your OnlyFans? Because I make my shit very clear. You guys can come see these interviews for a few days extra. I'm not sitting there being like, yo, you want to see this fucking hot body? Pay $10. So, like,
Yeah.
I know that's a version of OnlyFans, and I know there's a little more uncensored version. So what the fuck are you putting on there, dude? Because I'm not venturing there.
Oh man, nah. It's it's cool, I guess. I mean, like, so what happens is like the management company I'm with for MMA, they're always throwing stuff at me and like, hey, promote this, do this, boom, 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 boom. And they came to me with OnlyFans and like, I think it'll be good, you know, for your brand. You know, you're an edgy dude and you do a bunch of crazy shit. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. It's just another thing for me. I need to like be active on, which I need to be more active as I am because I get yelled at a lot by them. But like they were like, okay, well they're gonna pay you this much, and then they'll pay you this much at the end of the contract, but you got to post on there this many times, or you got to post on this. I was like, they're gonna pay me how much? And then like they're gonna pay you this. I'm like, really? Just to make an account? Like, are you messing with me? Are you fucking with me? And they're like, no, no, no. And they're like, you gotta make an account, and then you gotta post on there this much and do this. I was like, okay. I was like, for real? And they're like, yeah. I was like, okay. So I made the account to do it. They sent me money. I was like, damn, okay, that was easy. And, you know, and then pretty much all I got to do is post like so many things a month. But for me, like, I'm really bad at like just being on social media sometimes. Like, I try to be as active as I can, but you know, I'll do it more through like if I have like a fight coming up, it's easy because I'm just promoting the fight for my friends and whatever. But to go on like another app and start posting is kind of rough. And then the problem is, it's like I'm getting all these fucking crazy people, so I just get these like real raunchy DMs or like, you know, because for me, I just post like I'll post whatever on there. I'll post like food. I'll post like me doing striking. I'll post maybe like me doing sparring rounds. Like I'll post a lot of sparring rounds because it's easy for me to put out there. Because I don't want to put too much of like of sparring rounds on the web, you know, so people can see it. So like I'll put it on there, and it's just like I'll post stuff like that and just just raw fucking messages, raw comments. I'm like, this is brutal. Like, and then that's what makes me not even like to do it, you know. And then like the people will be like, oh man, come on, how much for a back shot like photo like that or something? And I'm like, bro, I'm not selling that shit on here unless you want to give me a lot of money. But like, I'm not gonna waste my time, you know. But you know, who knows? Like, if it starts to like, you know, if my name starts to blow up in the MMA world, and I have so many subscribers on there, and then like I put like $5 up, and like 500 people pay it, like, shit, I'll throw some money.
Listen, I'll tell you this much, dude. Uh, I have always tried to delineate what it is that I do as that. So what you just described isn't super far off from me in this sense, which is, hey man, if you guys want to see me get beat up in training, pay for it. Like, you
Yeah,
know, yours is more, I don't want tape study out there for me. I'm fighting. Like, I get that. That makes sense. But I'm like, hey, you know, sometimes people are like, oh, how does it like when you train? I'm like, well, there's on the end of these videos, there's little time lapses. And some of our friends have like done a still photo on the time lapse, and they're like, oh, I didn't know you did this well. And I was like, oh shit, you stopped that? I was like, this is just like an effect to do at the end to just show the gyms I train at. But okay, great. So that prompted me to be like, oh, you guys want to, we have a new segment where I'm like, hey, if you guys want to roast my training, we bring on a guest, and then they watch my competition footage. And the idea is not to tell me how to be better, it's just to make fun of it. And you know, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, if you guys want to laugh at me too, you got to pay for that as well.
yeah. I mean, it's a weird thing. It's just honestly, it's just another thing I have to like try to like post things on, and it's like, god damn, I just want to train. You know, that's it. I'm a simple person.
Here's what's going to happen though. In time, you're going to keep doing better and better and better and better. And then maybe you hire a social media guy. And then when you hire a social media guy, they can do the work for you, because it's not like you're afraid of sharing it. It's just you're at a phase now where the easiest version of doing it and the most cost effective is, hey, Kody, can you film yourself, or can you get some of your footage and edit it and put it up? And you're like, hey, I just did that. I'm done. I don't really
Yeah.
feel like doing that again. And I get it. I understand that. I literally had the person who I was training with about an hour ago being like, hey man, can you send me that footage? And I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, just
Yeah,
send me a clip. And I'm like, who's going to make the clip? Not
yeah.
me.
Yeah, it's just, and they don't make it easy. They don't have an app. Like you got to go like on Safari and you got to put in I got to put in all my like blogging info, and I'm just like, and then when I open it I just have like all these crazy notifications and comments, and I'm like looking through like what the fuck, and all these like fucked messages. I'm like, this is not what I came here for. So
It's tough, man. I don't beseech you, but like, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're onto something when you're just gonna be like, hey man, I'm not gonna do anything gross unless you pay a lot. But like, I don't know, man. What do you want? Uh
yeah,
I'm just
I
gonna
was telling,
here's footage. I'm just gonna eat something. You go with
yeah.
that?
I would sell my feet or something if they'd be into that, but I don't think girls are or weird guys are into guy feet. I don't know because
Kody, here's the dumb part. I think neither you nor I know what anybody is ever looking for in that way. The weirdest of our groups are the people who are going to just send you some random ass shit that you go, "Oh, is that what you want?" All right, cool. Cuz I think that's the hardest part about that app for guys and especially girls is just you don't know what the fuck somebody's going to ask you, but if you go on OnlyFans, people go, "Well, like here's my shot. I can be as weird as I want now." To
yeah,
ask that shit that I've always wanted. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Make your money, make your dollars. But the nice part for me is when I saw people like you or Craig Jones or other people, I go, I think you're doing it just because there's less restrictions there. And I get that part. So go do whatever you're going to do. But if they're offering you something good, get your fucking money, man.
yeah. I mean, it was an easy grab, and so I was like, yeah, that would be weird if I said no to that.
Absolutely. All right, let's go into a different direction. I saw this on paper, and then I saw you put up an Instagram post about this today. But it seems like you were excited to get back over to Grapple Fest November 18th. Now, this is how in demand you are that you've got a fight on the 24th of September, but you've got people who are like, hey, if you're going to get Kody Steele, you better fucking have a calendar with a couple months down the line because November 18th to me is you having to be very good at scheduling and saying, like, I'm not taking anything for a bit after the 24th. I'm probably going to need a little time, couple weeks, then travel, then this. So why the excitement and, what is it going to be like to get back on out there for you? And what does that mean?
I just, for one, I think Grapple Fest is like one of the sickest shows. Like, I feel like I've competed on, all of the shows, like, Who's Number One, Kasai, and Polaris, and, just a bunch of sick shows. And Grapple Fest just seems like they got the vibes there. Like, they're at a bar, people are screaming. Like, that's just where I need to be, Like, I need to be going in and getting in some scraps over there. And they've tried to like plan for me to come over there a couple times, but yeah, I just like the matches were just not there for me. I was like, man, I was like, hey, like I'm not really training a whole lot of jujitsu right at the moment. I'm really focusing on MMA, and this is like before like I was in the middle of like trying to build my record and stuff for MMA, and I was like, so don't give me some like guard pulling guy who's just gonna start just attacking my legs. Like I can't make that fun. Like I just have to defend everything and try to win, and like I can't jump over this guy or do takedowns. And so they kept kind of like giving me these guys that I was like, this is not a good match, and I'm like, so I'm not going to do it. And then, this one, this guy, I don't like know exactly who he is. I know he's a really good MMA fighter. He's a bit bigger than me, especially, yes, he's a bit bigger than me. So like, but I was just like, whatever. He's big. We'll probably scrap. That's good enough for me. Like, because the problem is like, I have the November 18th, but I'm already set to fight, if everything goes well and I destroy this dude. They got this other guy just always talking a bunch of mess about me online. So I'm like, what the fuck? So he wants to get down on November 5th. So I think me and this dude are going to fight an MMA fight November 5th. Hopefully I don't take too much damage. I'll tape up my legs and then, or whatever. And then I'm going to head out to Grapple Fest and put on a show for these guys.
Yo, what is up with all these people chirping at you, dude? Because I got to tell you this. I like the fact that you're confident in yourself, but your professionalism has never been lost on me. I just love that you got people in the comment section, in the DMs, who are like, "Oh, Kody Steele, huh? Yeah, I want that fight." And to me, I'm like, dude, I don't see you talking shit about anybody. So what gives here, man?
I don't know. I think it's just MMA. I think that's just the world that these people live in. Like jiu-jitsu is a little bit more humble and respectful in a way. I mean, it seems to kind of be taking a turn a little bit, but yeah, for the most part, everyone's very respectful and humble about each other. But MMA, like I've already had people calling me out. I've had people chirping on me through online, like saying they won't this, they won't that. And like I think honestly, like these guys, they're just a bunch of fucking losers. And like they see me and they think like, oh, he's just gonna grapple me. And like I just gotta do jujitsu for like 8 weeks and I could beat this guy. But it ain't like that. Like these guys, it's the biggest thing for them when they fight me. Like I have a target on my back, which is fine. Like I'm happy to wear it, but like these guys when they post like that they're gonna square up with me, they're like, "This is it. I beat this guy. I'm on to the next level. Oh man, blah, blah, blah." It's like for me, I've been fighting like really high level jujitsu guys, so it's like that. But like no, these guys, fucking these bums, are like trying to fight me, and like it's just the biggest fight for them, And I don't know, but like. Yeah, this guy for November 5th, he be chirping a lot, so we'll have fun with him.
That's good to hear, man. I just love the fact that no wonder your calendar has to be so organized. You got people who are like, hold on, before Christmas, I've got an opening for an ass beating.
Yeah.
Uh, you know what? Hey, man, I'm sorry. I'm booked up. You're going to have to wait till the new year to get in on this list. Like, you're the new VIP club experience that people have to wait for. So I just find it funny because I get where we're heading. It's not a trajectory that is lost upon anybody who's watching, the natural progression from Conor McGregor to these Paul brothers in the combat sorts scene, where some people are like, "Oh, is that what I have to do?" Yeah, Kody, I see the way that you knock that dude out. You're not that good. And you even put something up here that caught my attention, was he's just a grappler, quotation marks. So what made you put that? Because I don't know that I've been thinking of you as just a grappler for a while, but it seems like that might be some of the things that people may be just saying about you or to you.
Yeah, I think, because like when I come out and I fight, everyone's always talking about my jujitsu. And the thing is, like these guys, like this last guy I fought, I like literally just touched his leg. I looked at it. I just looked at his leg and I just touched his leg and he sprawled like halfway across the cage. And I was like, oh, I see what you were doing for the last 7 weeks. I see, you know. And then, next thing they know, I'm like kicking him in the face and like, throwing some heavy hands on him. And then now they're like, oh, I didn't train for this at all. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. These guys think I can just grapple, which is insane to me. But, I don't know. I've been sleeping most of these people and like not even just like sleeping them, just like face down, like out cold, that's raw. That's crazy.
I'll be honest with you, man. I had a friend who I was, after one of your last fights, I sent the clip to a friend of mine. And I was like, yo, man, I was like, Cody just like, it's kind of dangerous, dude. And he came back and he was like, he's all right. He's just a grappler. And I was like, but look at this. Like, look at this, dude. He's like, he's all right. And I was like, what the I was like, dude, I couldn't imagine being a fighter, because I don't even love it when people are like, Raf's an okay host. I'm like, first of all, incorrect, the best host. But second of all, like, just when you hear somebody putting that on your name, you're like, first of all, like, look, dude, go look. I have a clip. It's getting good play. But I think the weird part is, even if you're saying he's just a grappler, it wasn't like you weren't a violent grappler to begin with as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know what that means for anybody else. But anyway, I digress. I wanted to ask what it's been like to get in time over at the UFC PI, because when you get there, I don't know what it looks like. I have not been there myself, but I have been told via mutual friends or people who have been there, it's kind of like this really unbelievable structure and area. But as an athlete, I'm sure it's even better.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool, honestly. Like, you go in there, they got cages, they got they have like nutritionists that are like that monitor like just how for your body, your food, your diet, your weight cut. They got supplement, like the best supplements. They're just giving this all to you for free. They have like sauna, cold plunge, like cryo. They literally have everything there. You can train there. They have like strength and conditioning coaches tailored just for you. And it's like once you get into the UFC, it's all for free. Like it's crazy. Like when I go, I just go for the like I go with the guys who are in the UFC. Like they'll like bring me with them, and then I just kind of like use the perks. Or like when I go there, like I'll just get like a bunch of like pre-made meals, which is like super cool and convenient. But like, I mean, once you get into the UFC, and if you're training, consistently, and you're training good, and you're on your stuff, like. I mean, it's such a great setup. Like these guys are getting taken care of. I don't know the money side of it, but to feel good and win fights and make it to that next level where you are getting paid good, like they give you everything you need. So it's pretty dope.
Well, speaking of which, I saw that yesterday, 2 days ago, 2 days ago, you were at the Dana White Contender Series. And for an up and comer such as yourself, I could tell from your language that's got to be a great experience, but the visualization alone has to be so overwhelming because I know you're visualizing those next steps for yourself. How great was that experience, and what did you take away from getting to see it like that and with that kind of an intimate setting?
Yeah, it's really cool. Like I think, visualizing is like super important. Like for me, I'm not a big reader. I don't read very much. I just, my whole life I've always been like a really big visualizer, and I always kind of like see things for myself, and like not only do I see them, but I'll always am like chasing them and working towards them. And like it's just funny because a lot of the things that I do think about or say have like slowly come true. And I think like, you know, something like that, like not only does it motivate me more, but I know like those moments and those opportunities are literally going to be on my doorstep so very soon and faster than I think that they will be. Like I think, after this fight, a lot of doors are going to open up for me, whether I go where. But, for me, I'm just enjoying the process and taking the time. Like I'm in no rush. I got the time and I'm just keep on getting better. So like, but I do know, like you said, like I'm training for this fight. I'm training for this particular person. But I mean, I always tell people like I'm training for like my title fight in like 5 years from now. Like that's what I'm getting ready for. And then when I see these guys on TV, like I think everybody's tough. Like especially in fighting and MMA, everybody's tough. But when you get to that UFC level, everyone's tough. But like I still look at them and I'm like, I could beat that guy. I could beat that guy too, and I could beat that guy. So it's like I just got to keep working hard and doing my thing. And my manager will line me up with the opportunities. And then when he lines me up, I'll fucking crush him.
It did have a look where I could vaguely see it, I believe, Jason's eyes. Like, no, no, not yet. Hold on. I'm gonna let you loose soon enough. Cause I just looked over at you and I was like, oh my God. I had a moment where I thought, the things that are going on in your head, like this is the real dangled carrot in front of you to be like, yep, we're real close. Cause I was like, damn, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if you went to training the next day or two, even more hype, even more motivated after that sort of a thing. So I was very happy for you in that regard. And I know you mentioned you don't read, but that's fine. It's more so that you took the visualization into manifestation as well. So being able to combine those two things, it's very difficult, but there is a real aspect of being able to combine and make those two things happen. And I've seen you do it on other stages. So you're right. It could very well just be that matter of time. But for you, getting that fuel, I'm sure makes those training sessions have all the more meaning to them.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like I just know, like like I said, when those opportunities come, like I'm gonna be very ready for them. Like I like to try to stay. I feel like I like to try to stay a couple steps ahead of the game or where I'm at. Like when I first started doing the MMA, they started putting a lot of heat on me. You know, they were following me around with cameras. They're like writing articles, like the UFC FIGHT PASS. You know, they're putting all this stuff and like talking me up, and then I go out and I have this fight. I beat the guy, I dominated him, but not just not the way that I wanted to do it. And I was like, fuck, like I got a lot of work to do, and like then after that, I traveled all over the place, learned and trained, and put myself outside of my comfort zone, and then tried to, you know, hone in on what I need to do because I was like, these guys are trying to put some heat on me. I was like, I need to be ready for this. And like people are calling me out, so I'm like, they got a target on my back. They're putting all this. I was like, I need to be ready. But like now, I'm ready. Like I feel like they could put all the heat, they could put all the lights, they could put all whatever on me, and they can give me whoever they want to try to throw at me. And like I feel very comfortable and confident that I'll take these guys out because it's like, man, like I'm like knocking people out, but like they haven't even seen the best part of my game yet. Like my grappling is the best part of my game. Like that's like my striking is just for fun. Like the grappling is like if I get on top, it's you know it's a wrap. They haven't even seen my heel hooks. Like I got a lot more to show. So
Well, some of us here are familiar with that. Just,
you know,
just gonna let people know. You know, I think it's weird because as I say these things out loud, there is a part of me that's like, why am I rooting for you? Like, I just have like this PTSD where like I just because we've been so friendly over the years, I'm like, Kody's awesome. That's right. All right. All right. I don't know why I'm rooting for this kid. But no, I really feel like you are right in the sense that you went on this kind of hero's journey. You went to go find the skills that you wanted to hone in or get better at, and you did. And you're right. I think one of the things that we're not seeing yet is the full scope of what you're capable of. So I appreciate the fact that you're working on this grind very quietly in different facets. And I thought that one thing that was great, and I think we talked about it previously, was seeing you over in Thailand, seeing you get those experiences of being elsewhere, you know, coming to Vegas now, going back with your boys in Texas. I feel like all of those experiences, plus the high level that you compete at jiu-jitsu and in combat jiu-jitsu, is like, yeah, man, there's going to be some more fun to fucking see as you round out your game. And it's a great journey to be witnessing from the sidelines.
yeah, yeah. You know, I feel good with it, and I feel confident, and you know, all this feels familiar to me. Like, I remember, you know, when I was coming up through the jujitsu scene, I remember I'd compete, and I was like, oh, I'm getting some attraction here. Like, I'm getting some boom. Oh, I did another event. Oh, dang, like I got a good amount of followers from this, and it's like the same thing for MMA. Like, you know, like my last fight, boom, I went up and like some good following, and I was like okay, like I'm doing this again. Like I'm climbing up these rankings again. I'm being well known again through just a different sport, but it all feels familiar for me, and you know, and that feels good. Like it's not all new and surprising me. I'm like, all right, I know where I'm at. Time to work. Got more to do. Let's go. You know. So I'm excited for whatever comes, but I think it'll be pretty sick.
Well, I'm super happy for you, dude. And, you know, I appreciate you taking the time. Like I said, this is, I don't know that this is the longest lapse between starting and ending an interview, but it definitely is up there. And I don't know that that is a record I have ever had or will probably ever have again. But, you know, when you and I were looking to do this back in February, you had enough time to go do a complete other set of things in that time, including another knockout, including more and more experience. So when I see you doing that grind, even if we're not talking regularly, I am seeing the work and I'm very excited to see the fruits of that work come September 24th. And this is for Fury again.
Yeah, this will be through Fury.
Great, man. You've been a very good performer for them. So that's going to be super dope to see. And then Grapple Fest, November 18th. If not before then, some other fool, November 5th. Wait to hear more on that. And then I guess if you run into other people in the streets, you can find that on World Star or hopefully my page, because if there's footage of you fighting, it's going on my channel. And then
Yeah.
maybe I'll send you a different angle clip that you can put on your OnlyFans.
Oh yeah. There you go. Just be ready.
Hey, Kody, I want to do this before we start to sign off. I want to give you an opportunity to go and shout out any sponsors, anybody who's helping you get ready for this upcoming September 24th fight. But I want to give you an opportunity. The camera is all on you, sir.
Yeah, yeah, just big shout out to Syndicate here in Vegas for helping me out, Ambush, Muay Thai back at home, and Fire Factory back at home with all my boys and stuff. And then also just like a huge shout out to Level Black. I mean, he's been, I've been rocking with him since day one, and he's been having my back ever since then. And it's been really cool to see his growth as well, and with the company and the brand. And like I said, everything's good. Just a lot more hard work to go, and got a lot more to do, but a lot more to show. So I'm excited.
That's what's up. Are you guys, when you're away from the Tackets, are you sending them mail correspondence? Are you guys FaceTiming? Are you sending them
Yeah.
heart emojis and letting them know how much you miss them?
Oh yeah, a lot of heart emojis. I said like William, and Andrew and all that. But William, he's that guy's my boy. Like we out of anybody, I'm always messaging him, and he's always looking out for me and always helping me. I mean, a lot of my confidence through jiu-jitsu and MMA, like comes from him. Like that kid's on my back. He's passing me. He's taking me down. He's doing whatever, and then I escape maybe once, maybe twice, and I'm like, hell yeah, like if I can escape from this guy, like there ain't no way there's an MMA guy out there who's gonna be able to hold me down. So, I got a lot of love for him, and he's actually gonna fly out here, I think, in Vegas for my camp, so he can be here for me and
Yo,
help me, watch me, and yeah,
I have to say, I always love seeing you guys together. It's really cool when you guys can now go and do your side quests, but the two of you guys together, and I mean by proxy, the clan of them and you, it is always something to behold. But I've seen you and him in person be really, really good for each other. So I always root for that, and I'm very happy that you guys are good pals and friends, and it is wonderful to see. So kudos to you guys, man.
yeah,
All right, brother.
thank
Here's
you.
what we're gonna do. I'm gonna say bye to you off air, so hold tight. But I want to thank you, Kody Steele. Again, the date September 24th. Fury fighting in the cage again. November 5th? Question mark. And then November 18th for the Grapple Fest. The good folks over there. Kody, I'll see you in just a second. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, before we get on out of here, a couple quick reminders. First and foremost, if you guys have not given us a like, comment, or a share, do us a solid. Just tell us what you liked in this interview. Just right down here. Just say like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And then tell us, even if you didn't like the interview, just tell us what your favorite instructional that you've seen recently, because you stayed so long. You might as well tell us what your favorite one is. I think Cody's got one. You can say him. It would actually make him feel pretty good, I think. And then you could buy it. Yeah, that's the ticket. That's what you should do. And then you should also become members of the Grappling Hour community. Go on over HY.PAGE /Grappling Hour, $5 a month. See the interviews 30 days before anybody else. That goes to support this show, which helps buy these fancy little get-ups, these doohickeys, these lights, all that sort of stuff. Uh-oh. I like how timed that is. You guys can hear me now, and you're seeing a still photo. Yep, that's why we need your money. Yep. That's it. That's why we need your money, because the camera doing that bullshit. So all the more reason. Give me a shit. It's fucking shorting out again. Jesus fucking Christ. We're trying to land this thing, you guys. Camera, go. Are we good? I should see this focusing. Yeah, I'm back. All right. Thank you guys again. Join the Discord, Grappling Hour, all that good stuff. That's going to do it for us here at the Grappling Hour. It has been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.
Perfect.